Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 3120XP chainsaw. Customer complaint is that the starter rope broke, and he also wants to be able to put his 5-foot bar on this saw. So the customer in this case is Chris from the YouTube channel In the Woodyard. He's got two of these saws, and the other one, he brought his 5-foot bar and he wants to be able to put it on this saw, but that chain is a 404 and this saw isn't set up for that. So we'll take care of that for him and mount the bar and chain on here. As far as the starter goes, I mean, this looks really clean underneath here. It's nice when a person brings in their saw that, and you know they've been maintaining it. So what do we have? Looks like a broken rope. No big deal. Anytime you have a broken rope, you want to check, is there something that cut the rope? You would look at the bushing in the starter housing in this case and see if there's any sharp edges on it or anything like that. You might want to look at the pull cord itself. If it's a hard plastic cord that's got some sharp edges or cracks in it that could wear on the rope, that's something you'd want to address. In this case, I have decided that that stuff looks decent. I already looked at the pull handle earlier. We're just going to put a new rope on here. Now there's a couple ways I could have done it, and you'll see that I used a screwdriver to lock the starter pulley in place rather than just relax the spring. Could have done it either way. It was easy to stick that screwdriver in there and lock it in place, so I tried that. I get a rope cut to about the length I need, and I melt the ends so that they're nice and clean and won't fray and easily push through the hole in the starter pulley. Single overhand knot on this end. Pull it tight. And push the rope through the bushing in the starter housing. Push the rope through our handle. And in this case, I'm going to use a figure 8 knot. It's just a little bulkier. Especially when you got a saw this big that you're pulling on. These things don't pull over real easy. Alright, looks like I got too much rope. The rope is starting to hit the side of the starter housing at right about that point there. So that's where I want to move the handle to. Then I'll put a new knot in the rope. I know this all seems very basic, but there's one part of this process that a lot of people overlook. I've got the rope all the way out, and I can still turn that pulley a little farther, meaning that the spring isn't bound. There you go. If that spring wouldn't turn any farther, I would know at full extension I'm pulling against the spring and I'm going to wreck it. Or I should say I'm binding the spring. But there's still some play in the spring after the rope's all the way out, so we're good to go. I'll just flush cut it and melt the end. Alright, our starter's done. Let's get it bolted back on here. If you follow this channel, you might notice that I sound a little bit sick. I can assure you that if you watch this video, you won't catch any germs, but I can't promise that you won't feel a little bit ill at the end of the video. So we've got the starter torqued down. Man, that thing's got compression. This part of the repair is done. You know, I don't like working on concrete saws because they're really dirty. And I'm not a huge fan of working on 3120s because they're such pigs. Something hit the floor. Just a bar nut. Alright, things look pretty normal here, and clean, by the way. Alright, let's take a look at this chain.
.404.
We've got a 404 chain. That means we're going to need a 404 rim drive. So we'll have to pull this one off and see what it is. I don't think this one's set up with 404. These things got so much compression that you don't need a piston stop to rattle that clutch off of there. So there you go, 3/8, 7 tooth. That's not going to work. We'll go grab a 404. What are we doing? We got our grease. We're going to grease our clutch drum bearing. Put a little grease on the crankshaft. Yeah. Doesn't seem like I'm in a big hurry, does it? Here's our new rim drive. 404. Drop it on the drum. Install the drum. That 5-foot bar, as soon as it touches a wood, is going to tighten that clutch up. I'm not worried about that ever coming off of there. So we're cleaning up our mess so we can put the bar on. You can see it's used. He had it on his other saw. We're just going to clean it up a little bit. We got some schmutz in the oil feed hole. And a little bit of debris in the rails. This bar and chain combination is not cheap. And once you invest in something like this, you want to make sure that you keep up on the maintenance. I mean, it's probably a $350 bar. All right. A little bit of oil needs to be cleaned up. We can just kind of polish it a little bit here. Am I cleaning it up to make it look pretty, or so that it's not greasy when I handle it? Probably a little bit of both. What I don't want to do is, you know, hit it with brake clean or something like that and
Holy crap.
screw up the paint.
What a spider web. Bullshit.
These,
Really?
I've never had good luck with a long chain, you know, in a mess like this. I mean, what you're going to see here is probably sped up. It's probably 5 minutes of me messing around, trying to sort this out. And I'm getting more and more frustrated. And then a coworker came up and asked me to do something else and help with something, prepping a saw for a customer, which is normal. And I may have been a little bit short, but it's not me getting mad at anybody else but myself. So I prepped that new saw for the customer, ran him through the procedure, the whole shebang. Now I'm back to my chain. So close. No. One more time. No. There it is.
Simple, right?
Yeah, simple. All right. Let's get this thing barred up. No different than any other saw, just a bigger pain in the butt because it's so long. All right, these saws have the adjustment screw for the chain tension in the front of the cover. So I like to use a long cabinet screwdriver to access them. It just makes it a little bit easier. And like any time you install a chain, once you roll it, sometimes a kink will come out of it or something, things will loosen up, and then you have to retension it. How much tension you put on a 5-foot bar, I'm not going to be the one to tell you how much that should be. There's a lot of different schools of thought on that. If you tighten this up as much as you might tighten a shorter bar, you're putting a lot of stress on the sprockets. This could be argued as a little bit loose. We'll tighten it up some more. It's not terrible. Some would say it's still not tight enough. I would run it a little bit and then probably retighten it. All right, looks good. Now what are we going to do? I need a bigger workbench. Not sure what I'm thinking about right here. Probably about whether or not I want to actually run the thing. Looks like it needs some bar oil. So we'll take care of that. Probably going to need some fuel too. This saw I don't think has a lot of runtime on it. Somebody stole my gas can. I don't know what volume the 3120 fuel tank is.
What a pig.
But it's a lot. Alright, there's no purge bulb on a 3120. And we're not just going to yank the cord from the top of the bench. I'm going to have to put this on the ground to try and start it. And if it starts and runs, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna 3120XP chainsaw that needed a new starter rope. Thanks for watching. Later.